Hi everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. I'm Emma of Wonder and Create with Emma, and this is my monthly vlog episode where I catch you up on all the knitting and crochet projects that I've been working on. In today's episode, I'll be covering my finished objects, which today is my Scrappy Hornby vest sweater, as well as my works in progress, which include some Scrappy socks and the start of the Stella quilt cushion. Thank you for joining me today, and if you're new here, welcome and I hope you enjoy it. To give you a little bit more about me, I'm currently living in Vancouver in British Columbia, but as you might be able to tell from my accent, I am from the UK. I've been living here with my partner for about 6 years now, or just over 6 years. I work full time, but in my spare time, I'm mainly focusing on Wonder and Create work, from designing patterns to making these videos. This year, 2025, I'm focusing on working through the yarn I have in my stash rather than buying new yarn, or at least really trying to limit and be very specific about when I choose to buy new yarn. So you may have seen already this year, a lot of my videos are focused on that, from organising my stash that I did at the beginning of this year, to doing pattern roundup videos where I've been going through Ravelry and Pinterest, looking for patterns that inspire kind of leftover yarn and stash busting projects. So if you're interested in that and you're working on a similar project, one, I'd love to know, and two, you'll probably like to check out those videos that I've already released, and I'll be creating more throughout the rest of this year. This episode is also a special one for me because it's my 1 year anniversary of being on YouTube, but I will be getting more into that later on. And other than knitting, crochet and other fibre pursuits, I love drinking coffee, so you will regularly find me exploring new cafes, which is very easy to do in Vancouver. It's a very heavy coffee scene, so there's always a new cafe popping up to go and try out. I love just having a walk at the weekend, getting a coffee, maybe taking my knitting or crochet with me and knitting in a cafe. That's one of my most favourite things in the world to do. Also like to do a lot of travel, from exploring the local area to getting out and seeing the world. If you enjoyed today's video, please remember to give it a like and then subscribe to my channel so you don't miss future episodes from me. So here in Vancouver, we are still waiting for spring to hit. It's been fairly relentless rain for the past at least 3 weeks. It's still pretty cold. I'm still wearing my big kind of puffer long coat. I would love, and I'm longing for, a kind of blue sky day, as Canadians say, or just a dry day. It was pretty dry yesterday, but quite gloomy still. I really try and embrace and try and find the positive still in that gloom. It can still be very beautiful here, even when it is kind of misty or grey. However, because that's all we have seen for weeks and weeks now, I'm ready for a change up. Today I am wearing the Ingrid sweater by Petite Knits. This is a knit that I finished late last year, and I have been wearing this all the time. I love the style of it. I love the fit of it on me. It was really enjoyable, challenging knit because it was lots of different things going on with the pattern changing as you go, but I love it. And yeah, it's definitely been my most worn knit since I finished it. I knit it with Lion Brand yarn, or Lion Brand wool, the fisherman's wool. It's 100% wool, like worsted weight yarn, and this is their kind of cream neutral colorway. Okay, so we'll get started with my finished objects, and I only have one for you in this video, and that is my Hornby vest sweater. It's still kind of drying from where I've washed it, but here it is, and I haven't weaved in the ends yet, but this kind of gives you a little glimpse of what it's like. I love the colour of it. I'm very happy. So this vest is a pattern that I designed myself and I released late last year in the kind of fall. It's a crochet sweater vest. I crocheted it with actually this yarn, the Lion Brand's yarn, the fisherman's wool. So it's a worsted weight sweater. It's designed to have about 4 inches, 10 centimeters of positive ease, and the body length of it is designed to kind of sit just above your hip. However, because I'm doing my stash busting this year, and when I was organising my stash, I found that I had quite a lot of worsted weight yarn in my stash. And I was seeing some fun colour combinations, so I had in my head that I wanted to make a scrappy leftover yarn version of that vest. And I did also make some modifications to this vest compared to the original pattern that I wrote. So I knew that for this version, I wanted it to be slightly different. I envisioned that I wanted this vest to be worn over some looser dresses that I have. And so because of that, I wanted it to be a bit tighter. So with these like flowing, like loose, baggy dresses, it would pull it in a bit at the top. So I picked a size down from the size that I should technically pick if I was following the instructions, because I didn't want any ease. So it's the size that I've picked meant that I would have 0 ease in it, which was perfect. And then I also wanted it to be more cropped than the original length. So when I was doing, you work the vest bottom up. And so I just did less rounds than the pattern suggests so that I would have a more cropped length. And yeah, I'm very happy with the fit of it. And here is me just as I finished making the vest and did my first try on. Okay, this is my first try on of the Scrappy Hornby vest that I just finished. I love the colour combination. I like the length. I haven't weaved in a single end yet, so I'll get around to that eventually, or I'll just knot them because it's my top and I'm not going to worry. But this is pre-block as well. I will say that because this green yarn is so much thicker than the rest of the yarn I was using, I think it has made quite a wide neck. And I also did make an error of starting my neckline at the front rather than the back, so you can see the join, but I think once I weave it in, it won't be so obvious. But yeah. What do people think? I think it's really colourful. I'd even maybe wear this to work with the black. I think it looks good. I'm happy with how it turned out. It was never going to be perfect because even though I was using worsted weight yarns, they're all different. It's mixed fibres. I've got wool, I've got acrylic, probably some others in here. So it's never going to be like perfect shaping and sizing, but I'm pretty happy with it. I'm happy with the like less ease. That's what I wanted for this version. But yeah, now I'm just gonna wash it, block it, and I'll come back and see what it looks like at the end. So yeah, as I mentioned in that video just there, although these are technically all worsted weight yarns, apart from maybe this white one, which I think is a DK, but quite a thicker DK, I'd say. Because they're all different fibres, they're different brands, they are all slightly different. And I didn't care too much for this because this is just fun for me. I knew it wasn't going to be kind of perfect to the pattern. I would especially say that's true for this green yarn here. It's very bulky. I'd say it's almost like a, more than a worsted, just like a bulky weight yarn. And that, but yeah, I'm happy with it. I love the colour combinations that turned out. And I thought I would just mention the different yarns I used where I can remember it. For some of them, because they're just left over from other projects, I have lost the ball band, so I don't have all the details, so I give my best guess. And I have included this project in my Ravelry page, so if you go to the Hornby vest pattern, you will see my project of this, and I will have all the notes here describing the yarns I used, the size I picked, etc, etc. So if you're interested and you have access to Ravelry, you can go and check that out. So these different yarns I used. For that, the ribbing, the armholes and the neckline, as well as some stripes in the rounds, I had this green It's acrylic yarn from Loops and Threads. It's their soft, classic, solid yarn. As I say, it is like a medium worsted, but it's quite bulky. And this was left over from, I bought it just before Christmas to make some paper chain knitted Christmas decorations. I wanted like a Christmas green to make some of the chains with, so I just bought this from there. And then I had a whole bunch left over, but I now have actually used, as you can see, even though it is a 200-gram ball that you get from, like the skein is almost 200 grams, I have now managed to use most of that up in this vest, so I'm pretty happy with the reduction of that. And then the lilac is also a Loops and Threads acrylic yarn. And this one is left over from the Sophie hood that I made also by Petite Knits. And then this pink yarn here that I used is Motta by Wool Dreamers in colour 520. So this is a 100% wool yarn, and I purchased this yarn to make the Manhatten hat by Tori Yu. And yeah, I'd had quite almost a full ball of this left from that project. I had bought too much, so yeah, it was fun to include that, but as you can see, I still have lots more of this to use, so I'll have to find another project for that. And then this is the white I was using that I think is pretty much a DK, slightly heavier. I don't know what this is. I had it in my stash. No information about it. I'm pretty sure, to be honest, that this is an acrylic, well, sorry, it is an acrylic yarn, but yeah, I don't know where it was from. A mystery. And then this green one is also a bit of a mystery. I purchased this one from Knitting Nerds. So they're a local group in BC who rescue yarn from people's stash or from fibre libraries, etc. And they kind of take the yarn, they clean it up and get it ready to resell. So I saw their stall at XOXO Fibre Festival that I went to last year, and I was really drawn to this bright green, lime green, citrusy colour. And I've been looking for a project to use it for, and I think, again, I've lost the labelling that they had for this, but it's almost, it said worsted, but it is, I would say, more of a DK. Wait, if you can see that. But anyway, I think it's wool. It feels like wool. But yeah. And then what else do I have? Oh, lastly is this purple. So this is 100% wool, but I can't tell you anything more about that because I have lost the description. I know I bought it to knit my partner a hat a couple of years ago. It's 100% wool. It's a beautiful, rich purple colour. I can't even remember where I bought it, and I've got no idea of the brand, so unfortunately that is not helpful at all. But it's a lovely soft wool, I can tell you that. And yeah, this kind of aubergine or eggplant colour is beautiful. But yeah, still got quite a lot of it left. So that and the pink. Actually, I've got quite a lot of most of it apart from that green, so I still need these leftover projects to be coming in and inspiring me. Overall, very happy with it. I'll be weaving in those ends soon so that I can be wearing it out and about. So today's video is actually quite a special one because it is marking 1 year since I started posting videos on YouTube. I can't believe it's been a year already. I wasn't sure what to expect when I first started making these videos. I watched so many other knitters and crocheters on YouTube. I don't know, it felt like I wanted to make something myself and I wanted to get more connection. That's been my word of this year, but even last year I had wanted to make more friends in the community, meet other knitters and makers, even if it was meeting online. I had some ideas of how I would want my YouTube channel to be, obviously talking about the knitting and the crochet that I've been working on, but from my travels and knowing that I love to visit local yarn stores wherever I go, I thought I might be able to do some of that and take the viewers with me to different yarn stores. I actually haven't traveled too much since starting YouTube, so, and to be honest, because I do design patterns myself, I did want an extra place to kind of promote them and bring people behind the scenes on new designs that they're making, to kind of show that process and build a community, to like showcase my patterns in another space that's not social media or other social media, and my website and newsletters and stuff. I know it's a lot, but I felt like I really like YouTube and what other people do, so maybe I want to try do the same. Anyway, now we're a year later and I am really enjoying doing it. Like, I wasn't sure what to expect. I didn't know what the growth would be like. But I'm happy with how many subscribers I've got, so thank you if you're one of them, and please do subscribe if you would like to see more videos from me. Yeah, I've really enjoyed putting the videos together and planning what I'm going to talk about in each video, trying out different types of content. So obviously now I'm doing my monthly vlog episodes, which is more of like a casual catch up of here's what I've been knitting or crocheting or other things that I've been enjoying that's kind of yarn maker based, but then doing other things like pattern roundups and doing like yarn store tours, taking you on a travel, on a journey, like trying to do challenges like knitting a sock on a flight, on a long haul flight, if you haven't seen that one. Yeah, and just seeing what people enjoy. But yeah, I'm enjoying it, so I'm going to continue doing it. I have found it hard sometimes to compare myself with other people, kind of seeing other people start at similar times and having much more success than me in terms of subscriber numbers or views, etc. But I'm trying not to compare myself, because the main thing is I'm enjoying it, and I'm very grateful for anyone that does subscribe and watch, so I want to keep doing it. But yeah, I can't believe it's been a year already, and so I'm actually really enjoying it, because if you'd asked me 10 years ago if I'd ever make a YouTube channel, or even 3 years ago, like the idea of talking to a camera and then putting that online for people to watch is a no. And sometimes I still find myself thinking that way, but I actually weirdly do enjoy it. So yeah, anyway, thank you for everyone that has watched and subscribed, etc., or bought one of my patterns. It means a lot, and thank you, and I'm looking forward to what the next year may bring. Okay, so now for my works in progress. I have 3 to show you, and I'll start off with one of them because actually there is no updates for this, because I don't think I've worked on it at all since the last vlog episode that I published just a few weeks ago, and that is the Tiny Dots shawl by Crafty Jackalope or Manda Kafka. And this is, as I mentioned before, this is a kit that I won on the door raffle prize at XOXO Fibre Festival. It's this knitted shawl. It's a really enjoyable knit. It's kind of a mix of interesting pattern stitches and kind of just the straight stockinette stitch. This dark blue navy I'm pairing it with a sequin yarn, so it has a bit of sparkle to it. But yeah, as I say, there's been no progress on this for me. I got distracted by other projects, so I'll hopefully get back to this one shortly, and maybe in a month's time, by the time I'm doing my next vlog, perhaps I'll have finished it. We'll see. But yeah, not a lot to say on that one. And then something that I did do just on a bit of a whim and I don't necessarily need to be doing, is cast on a pair of socks, another pair. And this is just, I'm freestyling with some leftover yarn that I had from making samples of my new pattern, which I will talk about in a second, that's getting released next week, a pair of socks. But I had leftover yarn from that, so I'm freestyling with these socks. So they're just stripy. I haven't finished them yet, as you can see. They're going to be an ankle sock, so I'll be doing an afterthought heel, and I'll be doing the toe increases. But I actually had to put this on kind of on hold and put it on some waste yarn, because I'm not sure. What I wanted to do was use this brown for the heel and the toes. However, I only have this much, and I'm not sure that that is going to cover 2 socks worth of that. So what I've done is I've cast on the second sock and started on that, and we're going to see how it goes. But I think I'm going to have to find a different yarn in my stash that will go with this to do the heels and the toes, because I'm not confident I'm going to have much left. And this yarn is, both the white and the brown are Cascade Heritage solid sock yarn. in a kind of cream. I can't remember what the colourway is called, and then this like latte mocha colour. But I love this. I feel like it has quite a retro vibe. All I'm doing is I've done 3 rounds of 3 rounds of white, and then one stripe of the brown, and just doing that throughout. Just plain stockinette stitch, so very easy to do. So that's a nice like pick up, put down project. And I'm gonna have a look at my stash and see if there's any colours that I might like to pair with this. Off the top of my head, I have a light pink and I have a yellow, which could work. It could kind of give a 70s-ish vibe. And I think the yellow is also Cascade Heritage, so that I know it would pair nicely in terms of size and weight. But we'll see how far I get. But, you know, as I say, I'm really not hopeful that this would cover the rest of the body of the sock as well as heels and toes for 2 socks. Like, not at all, no chance, right? But yeah, that's been quite fun. And yeah, they're just gonna be an ankle sock. I am sort of in need of ankle socks at the moment. When I first got into knitting socks, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, I made a whole bunch, and now we're kind of getting to the stage where they've started to wear through. And so I'm in a bit of a, what would you call it? Like a replacement period of socks. So these will be a much needed new pair of ankle socks ready for the summer. And then lastly, as I mentioned at the beginning, I'm in the very, very early stages of doing a Stella quilt cushion. Or, I mean, it's going to be quite modified, but based on the Stella quilt cushion, using that pattern for the most part, but making some changes. So when I say very early stages, I mean I haven't even got 1/2 of the base square going. And I'm again using this DK or whatever it is, white yarn that I used in my Hornby vest. So my plan for this one is, if you're familiar with the Stella quilt blanket, I made it for one of my nephews, and it's a series of motifs put together. I think for the smallest version of the blanket, which is the one I made, it's 4 motifs sewn together to make the blanket. And when I was making it, I thought, oh, I'd love to make this as a cushion cover. So I just knit 1 motif worth, and that would be one side of the cushion, and do a second one and make it as the back. I have seen that actually Laura Penrose, the designer, has made a specific one for a cushion cover. However, as I've been looking at my yarn and what I want to use, so I'm using this, which I think will get me 1 motif's worth. And then I'm just going to be using 2 colours for the contrast colours of the motif. So one is going to be this green, because I've got so much of it to use, and it's at quite a similar weight to this white one. And then also this Lion Brand Kubo yarn. So it's a slightly different fibre because it's bamboo. Are you seeing that? But it's this, I think the colourway is terracotta, but I'd say it's more of like a pink clay colour. I bought this when I knit the Sea Breeze Cami by Knititude. I knit that a couple of years ago, and this is what I have left from that. I think it will get me enough. And I really like, I think that's such a pretty colour combination, very spring-like. So yeah, I'm hoping that these 2 will give me enough to do just the 2 colour motif pattern paired with this. But I don't think it's enough to do 2 sides of a cushion cover. So what I'm planning to do, and I think I am ultimately going to have to buy some more yarn to do this, but I quite like the idea of having reversible cushions. So depending on, I don't know, the vibe I want for the sofa or the couch or the room, I can like flip the cushions to how I'm feeling. So where this might be quite spring and summery, maybe I want a different colour on the other side. So I'm thinking, if I don't find a colour in my stash that I like, or I don't have enough of something, I might just accept that I'm going to buy a new yarn for that. And that reverse side will either just be kind of like a solid colour, maybe even just a plain stockinette stitch or crochet. Maybe that would be even more reverse, like knit one side, crochet the other, I don't know. So that's what I'm thinking, just to have that reversible element. I'd pick a colour that kind of goes with this, because you probably will be able to see, you know, kind of both sides at the same time. but I'll see how I get on. I'll make this one motif first and then figure it out from there. Because I'm kind of winging it a bit, I haven't thought about like the opening and closures to get the cushion in and out if you need to watch the cover or whatever. I'll figure that out as I go. But yeah, that's where I'm at with that. So very early stages. I haven't created this as a project on Ravelry yet, but actually probably by the time the video is out, I will have done that. So that will be all linked below. You can follow my link to my Ravelry page and check out my projects and see what I'm up to. I've been really trying to make a habit this last couple of months to keep those projects updated, like for myself and for other people, if any of you are interested in following along. So they're my works in progress. The only other thing I wanted to talk to you about today is my new sock pattern that's getting released next week on Friday, April 4. That's my Sabrina socks. They're currently in testing at the moment, just finishing up that testing period, and then I'll be getting the final pattern ready to release. But to give you a sneak peek, although some of you may have seen them already, like here they are. So for the most part, they are a plain like stockinette stitch sock with a heel flap and gusset, but the heart motif is knit using a technique of intarsia, but intarsia in the round. And when I release these, when I release this pattern next Friday, it's going to coincide with a video that I'll be releasing that's all about these socks, from a behind the scenes of me designing them, from buying the yarn to making them. But I'll also be including a little tutorial of how to do intarsia in the round, as well as a couple of other little techniques and tips in there, and just giving you all the details you need to know about the pattern. So if you purchase the pattern, the video will be there just to give you some background info and for some extra help if you so need. My newsletter subscribers will be the first people to know about the pattern release, and they'll also be getting an exclusive discount to buy the pattern and other patterns of mine. So if you'd like to be one of those people, sign up to my newsletter. The link is in the description below. The newsletter will be getting sent out first thing on Friday morning, and you'll be able to purchase the pattern at an exclusive discounted rate. So I hope you like them. I'm very excited to have them released. I've seen a couple of photos from some of the testers and their samples are looking great. I always love seeing what testers do, their yarn choices. Yeah, it makes me very happy seeing them coming through. So I'm really excited for them to be coming out in the world very soon. And once released, the pattern will be available to buy from my website, wanderandcreatewithemma.com, as well as Ravelry and Etsy. That's all from me for this week. I hope you enjoyed watching. I would love to hear what you've been working on this last month as well, so let me know in the comments. I should actually remind you also, I mentioned it in my last vlog, but on my website and my blogs, I recently compiled a list of all the fibre festivals happening across Canada this year, 2025. So if you're looking for an event in your local area, I really recommend checking out this list. It's got very comprehensive. I posted in a Facebook group about it. I think the group is called Canadian Fibre Festivals or Canadian Fibre Events. And people were super kind and gave me a list of other events that I hadn't found when I was researching and creating the blog. It's kind of taught me that a lot of events actually are only existing as a Facebook event for the most part. So it's taught me for next year that I need to be looking on Facebook for events as well. But anyway, I've been really grateful for everyone that's contributed. It's given me so many more events to add to the list, and I am kind of blown away by how many festivals there are that happen across the provinces in Canada. Unfortunately, I don't think anything happens in the territories, not that I've found and not that anyone has told me. So if you are aware of any fibre festivals in the territories, please let me know. I'd love to add them to the list. So if you're Canadian and looking for an event, do check out that. I'll have that link in the description as well. But that's all from me. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for future videos from me. I hope you enjoy the rest of this month. I'll see you again in a month for a vlog updating on my knitting and crochet progress. But in the meantime, as I mentioned, next week the video from me will be all about the Sabrina socks. And then I believe I'm going to be doing a pattern roundup for small projects that will be great for any road trips or travel that you'll be going on in the upcoming months over the summer. So if you're interested in that one and looking for some inspiration, make sure to check out that. And yeah, I will see you again soon. Happy making.